But if you as a board adopted a motion that said 2021, you could do the whole thing, because everyone would pay the same. It
No.
wouldn't-
No, you,
That's not
it's
how
when
it
your
has
term
to-
runs out.
right, so it has to be-
Some people have
Right,
it.
so-
You have to run your term
Right.
before you're eligible for
But
the increase.
okay, then you could though say, what I always thought was, whoever's the last term on our board right now, that's when it starts implementation, so everyone gets it.
Well, that would be the option 1C,
Okay.
for example, that's where we picked the 2023.
Everybody goes.
Yeah.
So, you know, and again, this is my thought process between those various options. You know,
You just have to do
the
it for
committee
everyone.
and the board may feel that it's beneficial to start for the next couple cycles, and some of the existing trustees would just lag until their term was renewed. Or it might be more beneficial to defer until all trustees could effectively have the same compensation. So that's kind of where the different start dates come in on that. That's a thought process on that. And then there's also the option 2 series is a step increases over multiple years, if that's the will of the board.
And how did these amounts get determined?
I made them up.
Okay.
And again, I'm looking at some of the
Sure.
benchmark communities, looking to gain a certain, at least comparability to those. It's just a matter of how accelerated
Right.
or how,
Right.
or how
So-
staggered that process would be.
Okay,
Now, please, just one more point before we move on. Again, once you get past 2023, all these implementations become effective for the entire group, because we're adopting it in 2020. So again, it's not like you would have any more staggering, it's, you know, again, once all trustees have been, new terms have been established, then whatever rates are in effect for whatever date, would go into effect.
So, for example, the new, because we didn't do this before nomination papers were required, we missed the cutoff for the 2 new trustees that are coming in. But the 2 trustees that come in
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 2021,
2021, if we decided to move forward with the, isn't there an
well,
option?
just option 1A, for example. Those 2 would be effective
For,
that rate, and then the
Everyone
remaining
would be
trustees
except
would
the new
not be
trustees.
affected.
There's only 2 trustees, it wouldn't be, right? I mean, like,
It would be 4.
yeah, because the new ones would have to wait for a whole term.
right,
So
right, so the new ones have to wait for a whole term, and then the 2,
whoever is running next time won't have to wait. They'd get it right away.
if that would be
Because,
elected
so if
or
we had done it,
elected,
yes.
yes, got it,
Mhm.
okay.
So we could just wait and do it in 2021 before the or during budget, when, right? I mean, once they're sitting trustees.
Well, it would be helpful to resolve this independent of the budget process. It doesn't matter when you adopt it, so long as it's
Okay.
preceding a certain date, so we don't have to wait until a certain time frame. But when you come to the budgeting cycle and your fiscal impact,
I'm just thinking
It's-
like
it's
if
nice
it was
to know.
if it was 2021, they wouldn't have pulled the paper, you know, in January or February. If we had done it in January, we would have this lag
Mhm.
for the new trustees.
yes, yes. But as you know, there's a ton of stuff going on during the budget process, and this was kind of the ask to do this. At least that was my recollection, was the ask to do this outside of the budget process, which is why it's coming forward.
Which you could do next January, February is all I'm saying. I have 2 requests.
Sure.
Of the committee members. The league has, I would love for staff to reach out to the league, because they have salaries, you know, they have a listing, they've done some homework on this, according to what the director told me. And they will tell you, my only concern about per diem is those salaries are correct at all. Like, say Fox Point gets no salary increase, but they got per diem there, you know. So I wanna know what the total compensation is for their elected officials. Which may be completely different than what salary is. It might, so if they've been implementing a per diem for 20 years, the total compensation for Fox Point, say, would be much higher
Would
than.
you like me to review those then? Is that your request?
Yeah, I'm asking to reach out to the league, because they might have that information
I can
already.
look into River Hills budget, for
I'm
example, and
almost
see what they're.
positive that Fox Point, I don't know about River Hills, but I'm like 95% sure that they like
They
the
do.
per diem, they don't get
Okay,
anything.
there's one small community I know I talked to that did, and then the other request is, the to ask the league how other municipalities, what is the majority doing to implement a raise? So in other words, I did that when I was there, but it'd be great for staff to have that conversation of what is common? Is it to gradiate like this? Is it, you know, so they'll be able to say, well, the history for the last 20 years, this is what the majority of them have been doing. Just to
Well,
get that
we can
perspective.
decide on our own what we wanna do. And I
Those
think,
were my requests.
I think there's some basic concept. I look at like Whitefish Bay, River Hills doesn't pay anything, Fox Point doesn't pay. I mean, it's a concept, is this a job or is this a community volunteer position? Definitely there's costs like printer cartridges and costs and day childcare and stuff. But, you know, $10,000 for the president,
Well, that's
I'm
what they
not.
say. I
think,
just wanna know what the true compensation is.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that it is, you know, I think that we pay such a nominal amount that we really limit people who can try to even run for this job. And it isn't a volunteer position because we were all elected. And to be able to be elected, you have to put in a lot of work to get there, and I think it is a really important job in our community. In my opinion, I think just at least bringing us up to the cost of inflation, I think from 1973, I mean, that was like several years before I was even born. I think like,
Not good.
I mean, just
I was
like,
born that day.
What's
I
the
like,
CPI?
I just think, you know,
He calculated it. You did.
it's 200, it's 202, $35 every 2 weeks, which is what we're each
Hey,
paying.
yeah.
In 2020 dollars is $202. I don't think that that is anybody looking to get wealthy off of this role. I think that that is, you know, I'd like to be able to get here on time-ish is always a stretch for me, and it is always, I need to have a sitter, I mean, $35 is not even covering one sitter.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think when we're paying basically next to nothing, it really limits
Mhm.
people who can run for this role. And, you know, I think just bringing us up to 2020's dollars is reasonable, and I think it also is something that, you know, I think people in our community are often surprised that we get $35 every 2 weeks when I tell them that. You know, and I'm not, again, not looking to get rich off of this role, just looking to be able to
Compensate what was originally planned.
cover my costs to be here. So, I mean, I think does Fox Point and River Hills, not pay their trustees anything? Yes, I know that that is a pain point for several people on the Fox
Do you know
Point board.
River Hills doesn't pay per diem?
I don't know about River Hills.
So what would be a reasonable?
I don't know until I know what his compensation is.
I mean, I think,
Well,
I
I
think-
can
I'm
tell you
just gonna
that
see.
Tyler reached out to village officials and asked what the compensation was for electeds. So I don't know that he specifically asked salary, even though the table is salary, but I can confirm if there are some per diems that we weren't. It was not presented because we didn't ask it
So
in that
like
manner.
Racine has per diem. I don't think it's on here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think Brown Deer's compensation, in my opinion, is, you know, they're roughly the same
30.
size municipality as we
Right.
are. You know, the $3,600
Right.
does not feel to me like an exorbitant amount of money to, you know,
Mhm.
to expect. You know, I think we want young and different people. We don't
Right.
want people who, you know, I mean, it's important for, I think we all agree on that, to have
Right.
different perspectives on the board. So I think that is
Greendale is our
not,
size,
Okay.
and they get 10,000 for the president.
So
I'm not gonna get, you know,
at
not talking about myself, I'm just
3,600, it's
saying
100, and there's 24 meetings. Let's say
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
it's $150 a meeting.
Mhm.
I know Mequon gets per diem.
Well, plus you've got your committee liaison,
Sure,
I mean, just
sure,
for example,
yeah.
committee
Right.
liaison responsibilities,
Right.
and let's not
And let's look
forget
up
that you're
ICC, you have
normally
fire board,
reading
you have-
these materials
Mhm.
the weekends
Oh, yeah.
before the
Right.
meetings,
Yeah.
and,
Right.
you know.
Right, I mean, like you're just basing on like the actual meeting
Right.
time, but
Not
there
per
is
meeting.
work that goes, to your point, Mark, there's work that goes into a meeting before you can even get there.
Yeah, sure.
A great way to think about it is the North Shore Fire Board, because we split up how much we pay into the North Shore Fire Department by population size. And so we're very similar, the top three are Shorewood, Glendale, and I believe Brown Deer.
Mhm.
So those three would be what I would be looking at. If they have per diem, it'd be an easy 3 phone calls. We can add them up, see what their total compensation is, and then make a decision. That would be easy for me if we didn't wanna do any research with the league.
I'd say I'm definitely gonna follow, I'm gonna ask Tyler to follow, if he's got a contact list, but just to make sure that there's no,
Glendale, Brown Deer.
undisclosed per diems.
Ask
Green.
them
I'd be
what,
happy to do that.
Green.
ask Tyler to check on the per diems. Is there childcare per diem? Is it a per meeting? Does a committee meeting or what constitutes a
I don't get a
meeting?
sense from my discussions with Tyler that there are, a lot of per diems in this group, but I will specifically ask him to follow up
Okay.
on that.
Were you living from where you worked?
I don't know about per diems.
Everyone that I asked, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Every
and I
single
hear,
person.
I definitely hear how that could be really complicated to, you know, I mean, like, I go to the bid board meeting, you know, you go to a store, like,
Yeah, I
I
would limit
think
it to
that that's.
statutory
We
committees.
go to a transportation
And
meeting.
those-
Right, I think that
Right.
that's like very
That's-
difficult
that's-
I don't think they
to,
do that.
Yeah. that'd be-
implement, but where I think if we could agree on, you know, even just bringing this up to $20 would feel
Mm.
more manageable for,
We'd offer a lot more flexibility on some of those variables.
The only reason I say this is because trustee Menta's not here, and I have talked to her extensively about this. She will not vote for I mean, she's very adamant that a salary increase would not be, something she was interested in. She wanted it for the per diem.
Mhm.
So just for her sake, I'm speaking up. I feel the same.
No,
But I-
I'm committed to reviewing
Yeah.
that with Tyler
So I
on
just want you to think it was
at
just
least
an-
the regional communities of a similar size, absolutely, which is what we tried to do on this table.
yeah, I mean, I think this table indicates that pretty well.
And ask, I think that's a great question about, when I interviewed them, it was mostly village board meetings and statutory committees. So if you're on planning commission, if you're on, CDA, if you're on the bid, whatever, if you're a member, then you can get, but other than that, I didn't hear any volunteer committees.
Again, I think he's got a distribution list and can get those answers back by the time the next board meeting comes up.
So we, look at that, 7 minutes early, if we could get a motion.
These totals don't, these total, like Shorewood has 6 trustees plus the president would be $7,300 salary. The formulas.
I thought the formulas were off too, I can't remember why, but.
Tyler.
Did
dude,
Tyler do this?
Tyler did it.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Okay, just
I'll have
point
him
it out.
polish that up too.
6,000, yeah, 7,300.
Yeah, I'll have him polish that up.
Okay, great.
Okay,
All right.
so do we want to, what would we like to do, proceed, move this forward, or do we want to,
You bring it back. to
Go ahead.
I'm
committee.
on the last,
sorry, what did you
Bring
say?
it back, maybe back to committee since
with the per
trustee
diem and-
Amenta isn't
Mhm.
here, and I know she has some
Okay.
strong feelings, and
Mhm.
then we got the more data, and then
Right.
I
Sure.
think we can.
Sure, I can certainly, I say, answer the per diem questions
Okay.
with the group that we've got identified here and make sure we are capturing total compensation and that we're referencing the right benchmark type communities.
Mhm.
Happy to do that.
Okay.
oh, how funny.
I have one other question. Is it worth it for us to cut checks every 2 weeks for $35? Like,
Can
is
you
there
just
a
do it at the
reason
end?
that we don't?
Well, A, we don't
send
cut
it?
checks.
Well, distribute.
It's automatic, we pay the same fee to upload the, automatic payment direct deposit file, no matter how many transactions are there, so.
Okay.
um,
Okay.
I hear you,
Yeah,
I
okay,
do,
just wasn't sure.
but, yeah, if we were cutting checks, that might be a
Different.
topic for discussion,
Okay.
but
Just raise yourself.
All right, I'm happy to do that.
Thank you.
I had a question on the minutes, we're on JP&L.
Yeah.
On the second page, about this first, second paragraph, it says President Rozak, you,
Yeah, I don't know.
not a committee
Yeah, I can't-
member.
Mm-mm.
That probably I did,
Just say,
put me
I
down.
think it was you, yeah.
Yes, I think it was you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Look at that. 5
Sorry,
minutes
just
early.
turn off the
You have
camera.
anything else?
Yep.
No, that was it.
Oh, then committee of the whole at
Thank
seven.
you all at 7.